Hello, dinosaur collectors. Toy dinosaurs, that is. Anyway, I'm going to show you a play set here from 1978. This is by Marx, and it is the Prehistoric Dinosaur play set, number 4208, by Marx designation. Here's the box. It's a nice photo cover. And it says there are 20 assorted dinosaurs on the cover there. I think that's probably a misprint because of the mold groups included. It's 22 actually. And let me get this in here. This is the original price tag. Bought this at Big K. I bought this new back in 1978. And it's been stored away since. I mainly bought this. Boy, that just does not want to focus. Finally. I mainly bought this because I had some fond memories of dinosaur toys by Marx as a kid. And I saw this in Big K, and it being only $8.97, I went ahead and picked it up. And I'll show you the other parts of the box. Some nice photos on the sides. And let's see. Copyright 1978, Lewis, Marx and Company. They were still using Lewis Marx' name because I assume that was bought when Marx was, the assets of Marx were sold by Lewis Marx in 1972 to Quaker Oats. Camera does not want to cooperate today. There's another nice picture. So anyway, around 1976, Quaker Oats didn't have much success with Marx in that 4-year time frame, so they sold it to a British company, and it's blank on the bottom. They sold it to a British company called Dunbee Combex. And there's the inside. There's no inserts or anything, and I don't believe it had the paper bags for all the pieces. In this one, it just had plastic bags, as I remember. And here are the original instructions, this big instruction sheet here. And, you know, it's got, tells how to the complicated instructions of putting the palm leaves on the palm trees and the ferns in the bases there and such. And of course, you got the 3-piece terrain there with the rock arch, the cave, and the pond, and then the clips that hold it. I don't know if anybody ever used those clips. The rock arch just sat on the other pieces, and there's really not much use in it using the clips. Okay, here are the dinosaurs in here, and it gives like a timeline, sort of. It's kind of like the old booklet was. That was much better, actually. And even though, according to some sources that claim that there was a color booklet included in this set, I bought this new, and there was no color booklet. All it came with was this instruction information sheet right here. That's it. And it just gives a rundown of each different prehistoric animal there. And there's the iguanodon and the styracosaurus, pteranodon, ankylosaurus, triceratops, tyrannosaurus, parasaurolophus, woolly mammoth, smilodon, Megatherium, and that is P-0046. It's got the copyright 1978. And that Glendale plant actually stayed in existence until 1980, I believe. But anyway, like I said, I didn't get an instruction booklet with this, or an information booklet. They, according to the sources I saw, they claimed that there was one of those color booklets included in this that was in with the Prehistoric Mountain set from 1975. And I never got one. If you want to see what that booklet looks like in detail, refer to my video about the Marx Prehistoric Mountain playset 1975. Okay, here we have a look at the components of the playset. Like I said, I bought this new. This is complete, so if you want to put together your own one of these, you'll know what constitutes a complete playset. And first of all, let's start with the rock formation. This is the same rock formation that was in the 3398, and it was in brown in the 3398. In the original 3398 from 1961, it was in brown marble with black. But this is the gray, and you know, it's a pretty cool change. You know, it looks like rocks. Here's the rock arch. And here's one of the slots. And there's the other one where the clips go. You came with 4 clips. I've got 2 of them still. I don't know where the other 2 came on a sprue with 4 of them. But anyway, you don't really need them. So I'm glad I got those 2 though. That's a good example of what came with it. Here's the pond. Now the water isn't painted in this one. It is decal. That's different from the previous pond in the 3398 from 1971. And there's the slot where this goes on there, and then you fix the clip if you want to. Not necessary. And here's the cave. These are sculpted really well, as Marx was well known for. They had good quality. And it's pretty thick. It's hard plastic, but it's thick. And most of these survived just fine over the years. This set is actually fairly common compared to a lot of the Marx prehistoric items. It's probably the next most common playset to the 1971 3398. That's the most common one for sure, but this is probably next to that. Now let's go to the dinosaurs, and I'll show you which mold groups are in there. They have these new colors for this set. This lemon yellow, really bright and gaudy, but you know, I mean, it was a change from the bland mint green and light gray that was in the previous mountain sets in 3398 from 1971. I don't know if this is better or not. You know, I mean, it's different. This is the 8 dinosaurs in the revised mold group. Here's the Triceratops. Allosaurus. Revised Allosaurus doesn't have the toe sticking out so far on the side there. Trachodon. This revised Trachodon stands up much better than the previous Trachodon from the medium mold group. The Marx designation for the revised mold group is PL977. And to most of you that doesn't mean anything, but you know, it's to collectors it might. Somebody that's really into the minutiae and trivia. And here's the Dimetrodon from the revised mold group. It's a little bit different from the Dimetrodons in the small mold group, which isn't even included in this set. There's no small mold group in this set And there isn't one in the last set, which came a year after this. I'll show that in another video. But here's the Ankylosaurus. And this is one of the main pieces, this Tyrannosaurus, commonly known as the sleek T-Rex among collectors, as opposed to the old potbelly T-Rex from the large mold group, which is not included in this set. Here's the Brontosaurus. And I'm not going to go into the thing about the Brontosaurus. Yeah, there were Brontosaurus toys because they thought Brontosaurus was an actual animal back in the day, but paleontology keeps rearranging the facts. And see that Trachodon? That's the reason they molded the revised Trachodon. It actually stands up. But here's the Hadrosaurus. This is the, in the cobalt blue here, this is the medium mold group. That's PL750. And here's the Trachodon, kind of lurched over to the side there. And see, it's got a little bit of excess plastic on the edges there. By now, the molds were, you know, starting to get old and some wear and tear. And the older the mold is, and more chance that you're going to get differences like that that results in excess plastic, or flashing as they call it. Here's the Stegosaurus. Nice texture, nice sculpt. Here's the Allosaurus, medium mold group. And you notice these are color matching. See his toe sticks out to the side there? Anyway, they would run the whole mold of these things in the same color, and when they cooled, they'd include them in the playset, or or blister pack, or whatever they were selling them in. So these mold groups are usually color matching, and in these newer sets, they're always color matching. And that was a Pteranodon. Here's the Ankylosaurus from the medium mold group. Detail's a little bit different on the bottom of it. It has that speckling on the belly instead of the cross hatching that's on the revised mold group Ankylosaurus. Okay, now for the last mold group of dinos included. This is the second series mold group. That's PL1083. This is the Moschops. Cool looking little dude. This is the Iguanodon with the horns for thumbs, which he used in defense against big predators. Here's the Parasaurolophus. The Megatherium. That's a solid piece there. It's got some weight to it. And, it's, even though the molds were old and they're using this shiny, waxy, newer plastic, it still has pretty good detail, It's also known as giant ground sloth. Here's the Styracosaurus. Very nice sculpt. The Struthiomimus. Here is the Smilodon, or saber-tooth tiger, as we used to call them back in the day. And here is the woolly mammoth, another one of the big favorite pieces for most collectors. Really great sculpt. Now, I was really elated when I bought this because I never had these second series animals before. I had seen them in the blister cards, I think, as a kid. But the only play set that I had of Marx dinosaurs in 1978 was the old one from, I think it was around 1963 or 4 that my mom bought me, one of the square box sets. It's probably a 3394, I'm thinking. Anyway, I've got one of those. I'll do a video on that too later. But this is the first time I had seen these uh, particular prehistoric animal figures. And you know, even though I was almost grown, I was 19 in 1978. Yeah, I was. It was like going back and being a kid again. And I was really glad I picked this up. And as it turns out, these things actually sell for quite a bit on eBay when they come up, even though they're not that scarce really. But they are scarce complete. I will say that. Usually the boxes are really bad beat up, and they're only partial when you find them. And you can find these different figures in eBay lots or at toy shows, you know, among toy dealers, you know, in bits and pieces and all that for varying prices. Sometimes if you just buy the dinosaurs individually, they end up being pretty expensive, so you're better off buying them in a lot. Now, strangely, this is supposed to come with 2 trees. It says so right there, and it makes sense that normally it would have come with 2 trees because that is half an assortment, and a mole group of the palm trees was consisted of 4, and a mole group of the ferns consisted of 4. And sometimes they'd split those in half for some of the later sets in the 70s, like the mountain sets and stuff. But this one strangely came with 3 trees. It just goes to show you that you can't really. I mean, the contents varied somewhat with these sets because I know what was exactly in this. I bought it new, and I know exactly there was no booklet, color or otherwise, and it came with 3 trees. And this 20 assorted dinosaurs it says on here, that must be a typo because according to the mole groups, there's 8 of the second series, 8 of the revised mole group, and 6 of the medium mole group. That's 22 dinosaurs. That's what they normally came with, I'm pretty sure. I'm fairly certain they would put the whole mole groups of dinos in there. But, you know, there might have been a bit of variance with that. I don't know. Anyway, you got the 3 different palm trees, or I did, in this set that I bought. The bigger palm tree with 2 trunks, the smaller palm tree with 2 trunks, and the big palm tree with the single trunk. And I know that just wasn't a fluke because they also included enough palm leaves for all of those. You know, you got 5 trunks worth of palm trees there, and you got 5 of the big leaves. And the ferns, though, there were just 2 ferns that came with this, and they were the 4-leaf ferns. You had the bases there, and got 2 of the bases, as well as these 2 4-leaf ferns. And strangely, it came with 3 trees. I don't know. Now, the normal mole group for palm trees had 2 of these in it. 2 of these. I guess in cutting back, they decided to spread them out a little bit, you know. I mean, by this time, they were cutting corners big time. That's another reason why I don't think that they had a booklet in this, probably. But anyway, it had 2 shots of the Cavemen mole group. Here's the guy with the rock over his head. Now this is in like a kind of a dark butterscotch shade of brown, sort of. Here's the guy walking with the club. Here is the guy with the stone axe and the knife. And here's the little guy with the spear, little crooked spear. Really great sculpting on these. And then you had the 2 crouching guys. This guy is skinning a small animal, looks like a rabbit. And this guy is beating a couple of rocks together. Maybe making a weapon, maybe trying to start a fire, who knows. But he's beating those rocks together there. And then you had another set of those two. So you had 12 cavemen in all. And then actually it came with 4 clips on a sprue, and I have 2 of them here. I'm not sure what happened to the sprue in the other 2 actually, but may have those somewhere. I'm not sure. But anyway, that pretty much covers the contents for the Marx Prehistoric Dinosaur playset number 4208 from 1978. And here's what the set might look like all set up. I always try to set them up like this because, you know, when you see listings on eBay or even in what few books or reference sources there are about these things, it seems like nobody ever sets them up the way kids used to play with them. And that's part of the fun of play sets, you know, just setting them up, even though I'm just a collector and I've been too old to play for a real long time, but still, you know, I have fun to set these things up occasionally. And gonna do the thing here where we take the camera off and give you a pteranodon's eye view of the little setup here. 22 dinos, 12 cavemen. Smilodon trying to take down that pteranodon up there. Of course, they didn't live at the same time in real life, but hey, this is toys, so you know, it's for fun. This ain't science, man. This is toy dinosaurs. There's the Parasaurolophus and the cavemen all ganged up in front of their cave trying to fend off the animals that are coming in on them too close there, infringing on their space. And there you go. That's a pretty good look at the number 4208 prehistoric playset, prehistoric dinosaur playset, the official name of it there according to the box, from 1978 by Marx. Hope you enjoyed that, and I hope it helps. The information is interesting to you, and maybe it will help. It will assist some of you in finishing your set if you choose. See you next time.